I am incredibly proud of our partnership with you. I am deeply grateful to all the universities, particularly those who came on very early, like Appalachian State and NYU and Cornell. Very deeply grateful that you understood that by accepting my students and my faculty in your universities, you were not only taking on board individuals, you were taking on board a project to deeply transform a campus and a country. And so welcome home. And to all of you, when I look at you, I can say with an open heart, I too am home. Have a wonderful week.
So on the first day, we got a picture with Prof. Jansen, and we're both looking at each other like, you know, who is this guy? You know, then the documentary comes on and we're like, whoa, you know, he's really important. And just to see the work he's doing here, and how he's somehow managing to be successful, it's incredible.
What I thought about the summit so far, it's been really great, amazing. The people, you actually feel a part of a community, all for the changing of the better. You know, we are all for social justice. We're trying to be change agents in our own way.
The summit has kind of given us an kind of outlet to be able to experience a different culture and not necessarily just one culture, because such the diversity of the actual country of South Africa and beyond, which is just amazing.
Leadership is everyday judgment and action. So the idea of struggling with the ghost of the past is to domesticate the ghost, is to make the ghost your own, so that the ghost is not haunting you anymore, but is simply reminding you all the time. A positive spirit.
It was a little weird because we don't think of it that way. We don't really talk about ghosts or believe in ghosts in Belgium, in Europe, and but I think it was really interesting because history is in the present, as we saw in previous lectures and previous sessions. History is in the present, and I think it's really important that people should remember things.
I think so far my favorite one, because it was really just like analyzing the problem. There is a problem, how are you going to deal with it? And really giving examples on, we tried to do it this way, and really going in depth, I think, and criticizing as well what goes wrong and what is not working. And for me personally, I think that is what I want to take out of this summit as well. Like these problems, how can I apply in my society where I see my problems? Can I draw like lines that are the same or different? So for me personally, it was really good.
It was very good, and it was a transformative process because I recognized that it was only Black South African students who had spoken up before today, but it was only this morning when white South Africans started to talk about how they have been feeling about apartheid.
Some people say they didn't even know that that was going to happen, but it is in the nature of human connectedness that in the openness, opening our hearts one to the other, something falls into that space, and sometimes it is this wonderful moments of forgiveness.
That was a very, very emotional thing for me, and I said I'm so glad for the TRC to have happened, because my life is so much more enriched for knowing Black people and having Black friends. So it was a very emotional thing for me personally.
There we stood, Evita beside it, next to Nelson Mandela, and suddenly there was that strange moment when the cameras were not looking at us, and I said to him, President Mandela, you know, we've met each other 3 times already, and each time I meet you, you meet Evita, not me. He said, oh, no, I met Evita. I said, you've never seen me without Evita's hair? He said, no, I haven't. I said, do you want to? He said, oh, yes. So I took off there and said, no, put it back.
It was amazing, you know, who does not know Evita Besaidnot in South Africa? Who hasn't experienced his humor in one way or another? And to actually have a one-on-one conversation with him, to interact, and him being with you like a peer, not as an entertainer, was brilliant. And entertaining you, of course, you know, having that laugh, just a great end to a wonderful day.
You see, we realize it is impossible to feed the mind while the body is hungry. The NSH was launched last year in April 2011, and against the backdrop of students going hungry or studying on empty stomachs without the possibility of having regular meals.
The importance of our words and the impact they have on the way people live and die. In silence and solitude, we can, as Hitler did, write Mein Kampf. Or we can take the opportunity to evolve as human beings, to connect to our inherent worth and dignity, enshrined in South Africa's Constitution as its first founding value. We can recognize that worth in ourselves and in each other.
Okay, my name is Raphael, I'm from Japan. No, I'm kidding, I'm from Belgium, Ghent University. And I think this program is basically amazing. I feel so privileged to be here, to be able to speak to all these people from all over the world, basically, to engage in dialogue with them and to find out that some ways we're very, very much the same, some ways we deal with the same issues. And it's very good that we get different perspectives on that. What I think about Desmond Tutu, I think he's a funny guy and a very inspiring guy as well, of course. You all know that here, you all know him here. And it's so cool to be here on Mandela Day, to speak to Tutu. It's a privilege we have from overseas, so I'm very glad about that.
You're all Africans. Never mind, no. But you are all family. Please look after one another. And that's why we're saying, please, are you aware of the cost of this freedom? Do you know what people went through for us to be at this point? Can you think of valuing it?
I know that many of you will never ever be at a place where you have so many continents and so many universities present. You made this place a very special place with the buzz that you generated in the passages, and I don't know where else, but let me just say, there was a buzz.
Through your experience at this university and around the world, you have glimpsed the possibility of a more open and compassionate way of living. I urge you to chase that possibility tirelessly, to strive for it recklessly, and to hope for it with audacity. Then one day, you'll be able to look back and say that the vision never seemed achievable until you achieved it. Thank you.
I'm really impressed about what I'm seeing here. And I know it's not a fairy tale. I know there are a lot of problems and huge challenges to face. But I think that this summit was really something very beautiful to experience.
There is this beautiful connection of courage and compassion that exists in South Africa, and what the United States and I think the world can learn from that.
We have met extraordinary individuals and leaders who have shaped our country, and dare I say, countries. Our insight, and who has inspired generations of people. All this in a small city and a small rural town called Bloemfontein and Putarichaba and the University of the Free State. We wish you all the best. Thank you once again. And I'm ending with the words of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu. We all are, after all, family. Thank you.